Let's talk about a man who didn't just play tennis. He basically rewrote the entire record book. The real question is, how on earth did he do it?
Okay, let's just start with the raw numbers because they're staggering. 24. Just let that sink in. That's his record-shattering count of men's singles Grand Slam titles, more than any other man in history.
And how about this one? 428. That is the unbelievable number of weeks he spent as the world's #1 ranked player. Another all-time record.
And then there's this number, almost $193 million. That's not his net worth. That's just his career prize money, making him the highest-earning tennis player ever.
So how does one person accomplish all of that? Well, the answer isn't just sitting in a trophy cabinet. It actually starts in a place of conflict and just unbelievable resilience.
To really get the full picture of the champion, you have to go back to the beginning, to the childhood that literally forged him. See, his upbringing was a world away from the pristine tennis academies you might picture. He was born in Belgrade in 1987, which means his formative years were spent right in the middle of the Yugoslav wars and the NATO bombings. It was an environment of chaos and constant uncertainty.
And this quote, wow, it just says everything, doesn't it? At one point, he had to train inside a drained, empty swimming pool that had been turned into a makeshift tennis court. Just picture that for a second. That's the kind of determination we're talking about, baked in from the very beginning.
So when Djokovic turned pro, he stepped into an arena that wasn't just competitive, it was completely owned by two living legends, Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal.
And this table just lays it all out there. It shows that absolute Federer-Nadal stranglehold on the sport. Just look at those names. In this 3-year stretch, they won 11 of the 12 major tournaments available. It was their world, and everyone else was, just playing in it.
But then, 2008 happens, and everything changes. A 20-year-old Novak Djokovic just smashes right through that wall, winning his first major title at the Australian Open. This was huge. It was the first Grand Slam in 3 years that wasn't won by either Federer or Nadal. The duopoly was officially broken.
And this was the moment. You can see it on his face, celebrating that first major. He was announcing his arrival. A new, undeniable force was here, and the game was about to enter a totally new era.
You see, Djokovic didn't just join the conversation, he completely changed it. He forced the world to stop talking about the big two and start talking about the big three. But his path to the top was anything but a straight line. In fact, a major physical challenge came along that threatened to derail his entire career.
In 2017, a persistent elbow injury just became unbearable. His results completely tanked, he had to take a long break from the sport, and his ranking just fell off a cliff, all the way out of the top 20. After years of total dominance, this was a period of intense vulnerability and, you have to imagine, some serious doubt.
And this chart really shows you what that looks like. You see the years of consistent, top-tier ranking, and then, boom, that dramatic fall in 2017 and 2018, it really puts into perspective just how far he fell from the top of the mountain.
So he made a decision, elbow surgery in early 2018. This was a moment of truth, a huge risk, with absolutely no guarantee that he'd ever get back to his old form. His future in the sport was genuinely up in the air.
But his greatest challenges weren't always physical or from opponents across the net.
His career has also been marked by some pretty significant off-court controversies. From the U.S. Open disqualification and the criticism of the Audrey Tour in 2020, to his public opposition to the COVID-19 vaccine and that high-profile deportation from Australia in 2022. These moments created huge obstacles for him.
But here's the crucial point, the pattern that his career shows time and time again. After a chaotic 2020, he comes back and wins 2 majors in 2021. After being deported from Australia, he wins Wimbledon that very same year. And then in 2023, he has one of the greatest seasons ever. He consistently responds to adversity off the court with historic success on it.
But for all the records and all the majors, one crowning achievement stayed just out of his reach for nearly 2 decades.
This timeline really shows his persistent 16-year journey to capture an Olympic gold medal. He won a bronze way back in 2008, but after that, it was just repeated heartbreak, finishing 4th in both London and Tokyo. It was the one prize he just couldn't seem to win.
Until Paris 2024.
This was the triumphant end to that long, difficult quest. At last, the final piece of his historic puzzle was in place, completing a feat that very few athletes have ever achieved.
By winning that gold, he cemented his place in history, achieving the career Golden Slam. That means winning all 4 majors and an Olympic gold medal over the course of a career. It's one of the most exclusive clubs in all of sports.
And this leaves us with a final, fascinating question. Records, by their very nature, can be broken. But when you consider everything we've looked at, the resilience, the dominance, the controversies, and the comebacks, is his legacy actually unbreakable?